Hello students, in the last lecture we have studied about the Gauss theorem. Now in this lecture we will study the applications of Gauss theorem. Now let us calculate the electric field due to an infinitely long straight charged wire. For this, you have to consider a thin, infinitely long straight wire having a uniform linear charge density lambda coulomb per meter. And by symmetry, the electric field intensity E of the line charge is directed radially outwards because it consists of positive charge. We have taken the linear charge density lambda, and its magnitude is same at all points equidistant from the line charge. To determine the field at a distance r from the line charge, we choose a cylindrical Gaussian surface of radius r, length L, and it is with the axis along the line charge. As you can see in the figure also. Here, this Gaussian surface consists of three surfaces. Two are the circular one and one is curved. Two circular surfaces are named as A and B, and the curved surface is named as C. And you can see clearly from the diagram that the area vector of surfaces A and B makes an angle of 90 degree with the electric field vector, but the area vector of curved surface area C is in parallel direction to that of E, right? Now by using Gauss law, that means the electric flux phi E is equals to the dot product of E dot ds over the closed surface S, and it is equals to charge enclosed upon epsilon naught, means Q by epsilon naught. And by breaking the E dot ds over the closed surface S into three surfaces A, B and C, and by putting the value of dot product of E dot ds over the surface A, means it will be E ds cos 90 degree. Similarly for surface B and C, you got only E dot ds over the closed surface S equals to E dot ds integral over the surface C, because in that case only the angle between the two vectors is 0. Now the integral of ds will be equals to 2 pi RL. So you got the flux equals to E into 2 pi RL. And the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface Q will be equals to lambda into L. So by using the Gauss theorem, phi E equals to Q upon epsilon naught, you got E into 2 pi RL equals to lambda L upon epsilon naught. That means you got E is equals to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught R, right? This shows that the electric field of a line charge is inversely proportional to the distance from the line charge. And if you have to write vectorically, then write E vector equals to 1 upon 2 pi epsilon naught lambda upon R into R cap, and the direction of R cap will be radially outward for the positive line charge, and in the question it is given to you that the line charge is carrying negative charges, then the direction will be radially inward. So you have seen that the electric field intensity is independent of the Gaussian surface constructed. It only depends upon the distance of point of consideration, and that point must be included in the Gaussian surface. In this application of Gauss theorem, we will find electric field due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. As shown in the figure, consider a thin infinite plane sheet of charge with uniform surface charge density sigma. That means the value of sigma will be charge upon area. And we have to calculate its electric field at any point P at a distance L by 2 from it. You may consider A or B, right? Means from sheet it will be at a distance of L by 2. By symmetry, electric field E points outward, normal to the sheet, because it is of positive charge. If you have to consider of negative charge, then the direction will be inwards. Also, it must have same magnitude and opposite direction at points P dash equidistant from the sheet and on the opposite side. Means firstly, if you have considered any point at A, then it will have the same effect at any point on the surface B, but only difference will be that the electric field direction will be opposite, right? Means you have to choose a cylindrical Gaussian surface of cross section area A and length L with its axis perpendicular to the sheet. Now, as the lines of force are parallel to the curved surface of the cylinder, that means the angle between the area vector of the curved surface C with electric field vector will be 90 degree, but the area vector will make an angle of 0 degree with the electric field vector at point A and B, means on the circular surface. So, by using Gauss law, phi E is equals to E dot ds integral over the closed surface S, and that is equals to charge enclosed by the epsilon naught, and breaking E dot ds over the closed surface S into 3 parts, A, B and C, and by putting the value of angle you got what? Because of surface C it will be 0, and the value of E dot ds over the closed surface will become E into integral of ds plus E into integral of ds, that means 2E into area. And the area, let the circular area is pi r square, the radius is r as shown in the diagram. So you got 2E into pi r square. And in terms of surface charge density, you know that we can replace Q equals to sigma A and area is pi r square. So we got 2 into pi r square is equals to sigma into pi r square upon epsilon naught. And the pi r square is cancelled out. So you got E is equals to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. And again in the form of vector, you can write sigma upon 2 epsilon naught into L cap, right? And the direction of electric field intensity is perpendicular to the plane and away from the positive charge distribution, and it will be towards the plane if in question the negative charge is given to you. Thank you.